Right now, deep inside your brain, your amygdala is hijacking the exact circuit you need to learn, and the neuroscientists who mapped this reflex admit they cannot switch it off. It fires before you're even aware you're afraid. And once it fires, learning stops. But high performers have found one way to interrupt it, and by the end of this, you'll know exactly what it is. Think about the last time you sat down to study under real pressure. A deadline, a test tomorrow. The material in front of you and your eyes moving across the page, but nothing sticking. That's not a focus problem. That's your alarm center deep in your temporal lobe deciding this moment is dangerous. And when it decides that, it doesn't just make you anxious. It actively shuts down the machinery that turns information into memory. The harder you push, the less your brain lets in. You are trying to learn while your own biology is working against you. Here's what's happening. Your amygdala scans for threat constantly, automatically, outside conscious control. A looming deadline reads as danger, no different to this ancient circuit than a predator in the grass. It signals your hypothalamus. Your hypothalamus signals your adrenal glands. Cortisol floods your bloodstream in seconds. And cortisol receptors sit densely, thickly, all over one structure in particular, your hippocampus, your brain's filing system for new memories. Under a normal, manageable dose, cortisol barely registers. Under the flood a real deadline produces, it jams the process called long-term potentiation, the exact mechanism your neurons use to wire new information into place. Picture a filing clerk trying to sort documents while someone keeps shaking the cabinet. Nothing gets filed. Everything just falls to the floor. You read the page again, and still nothing lands. The scientists who discovered this pathway will tell you, plainly, there is no override switch. The amygdala is older than language, older than reason, wired in before you could speak. It doesn't ask permission. It doesn't respond to willpower. Telling yourself to calm down doesn't touch it because the circuit reacting isn't the circuit that hears you. Researchers studying stress and memory have run this experiment for decades. Raise cortisol, watch hippocampal encoding drop, every time in every subject. It isn't a character flaw. It isn't a lack of discipline, it's architecture. And architecture doesn't care how badly you need to pass this exam tomorrow. Now here's the part that flips everything you've been told. Conventional advice says push through, focus harder, grind longer, cram until it sticks. But pushing harder under pressure raises cortisol further. It doesn't fix the jam, it tightens it. This is why the all-nighter feels productive while you're doing it and evaporates by morning. This is why rereading your notes under deadline stress creates a feeling of fluency. The words look familiar, while almost none of it converts into retrievable memory. You're mistaking recognition for learning, and the more anxious you get about not retaining it, the more amygdala activity you generate and the worse the jam becomes. It's a loop, and grinding is what feeds it. So if you can't override the reflex, what do high performers actually do? They don't fight the amygdala. They change the signal it's reacting to before they ever open the material. It's a short window, call it the pressure release window, and it works because cortisol takes roughly 20 minutes to clear meaningfully once the threat signal drops. Elite learners build a brief downregulation ritual before encoding. Slow, extended exhale breathing, 90 seconds, longer out breath than in breath, which directly signals the vagus nerve to override the alarm state. Then instead of opening straight into dense material, they run one low-stakes retrieval, recalling something they already know, no pressure attached, which tells the amygdala quietly that this session isn't a threat scenario. Only then do they move into new material in short blocks with the cortisol curve already falling instead of spiking. Tonight, before you study anything, don't open the book first. Sit for 90 seconds. Breathe in for 4 counts, out for 6, and repeat it until your shoulders actually drop. Then start with something you already half know, a quick low-pressure recall before you touch anything new. Only after that do you open the hard material in short stretches, checking in with your breath if the pressure creeps back up. You're not tricking your brain, you're giving it permission to file instead of flinch. But the amygdala isn't working alone in this. There's another structure, active tonight while you sleep, quietly deciding which of today's memories survive until morning, and which ones it simply erases.